Have you ever noticed that sometimes the loudest voice in your life is the one inside your own head? It's with you when you wake up. It's with you before every important decision, and it's there every single time you're about to change your life. The strange part is you trust that voice almost automatically after all. It's your own mind. Why would it lie to you? But what if I told you that your brain doesn't always tell you the truth? Not because it's broken, not because it's against you, because it was designed for survival, not success. That's a difference most people never understand, and until you do, you'll keep believing thoughts that were never meant to guide your future today. We're going to expose the 5 biggest lies your brain tells you every single day, the scary part. Most people never realize they're being fooled. Let's begin with the first lie. Think about the last time you wanted to do something important. Maybe start a business, launch a YouTube channel, apply for a better job, walk into a gym. Ask someone out. What was the first thought that appeared? I need more time. I should learn a little more. I'm not ready yet. It sounds responsible. It sounds intelligent. But is it? Here's something interesting. Imagine a pilot refusing to fly until there is absolutely no turbulence. How long would he wait? Forever? Because turbulence isn't a sign something is wrong. It's part of flying. Life works exactly the same way. Most people think readiness comes before action. Reality works in reverse. Action creates readiness. Confidence doesn't appear. Then you start, and confidence slowly follows. Every successful person you admire started while feeling unprepared. Not because they enjoyed uncertainty, because they understood something most people never learn. Waiting doesn't reduce fear. It feeds it. The longer you wait, the bigger the mountain becomes inside your imagination. Your brain mistakes delay for safety, but every day you postpone action, your future quietly moves further away. Now here's something psychologists have observed for decades. The human mind naturally prefers familiar situations over uncertain ones, even when the familiar situation makes us unhappy. Read that again. Your brain would rather keep you in a life you dislike than risk stepping into a future it cannot predict. That's not laziness. That's survival programming. But survival and fulfillment are not the same thing. Now let's move to the second lie. This one is even more dangerous because it destroys dreams without people ever noticing. The most expensive word in the English language. Think about it. How many dreams have disappeared because someone kept saying, "I'll start tomorrow." Tomorrow feels harmless. Tomorrow feels responsible. Tomorrow feels like a plan. But tomorrow has a secret. It never arrives. Because when tomorrow becomes today, your brain simply creates another tomorrow. It's a perfect illusion, a moving finish line. Imagine standing on a treadmill. You're walking, you're sweating, you're moving your legs, but you're not actually going anywhere. That's exactly what happens when your life becomes full of "I'll start tomorrow." You stay busy without making progress. Now here's something fascinating. Researchers who study habits have repeatedly found that people who choose a specific time to begin a task are much more likely to follow through than those who rely on vague intentions, because your brain loves ambiguity. I'll start soon. I'll begin next week. I'll wait until things calm down. Those sentences require nothing. They're promises without deadlines, and promises without deadlines usually become memories. Ask yourself this: how many versions of your future have you already postponed? The body you wanted, the business, the book, the confidence, the relationship, not because you couldn't build them, but because your brain convinced you. There would always be another perfect moment. There won't. The perfect moment isn't coming. It never existed. The people who change their lives don't discover better timing. They stop negotiating with time. They decide. And once they decide, the calendar no longer controls them. They control the calendar. But here's where things become truly fascinating, because the third lie is the one almost everyone believes. In fact, you've probably believed it today. And once you understand why it's a lie, you'll never hear your own thoughts the same way again. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wanted to post a video, but thought, what if people make fun of me? Have you ever avoided speaking up in a meeting because you thought everyone would judge you? Have you ever stopped yourself from trying something new simply because you imagined people laughing if you failed? If you have, you're not alone. Psychologists even have a name for this. It's called the spotlight effect. Here's what it means. Your brain constantly tricks you into believing that other people are paying far more attention to you than they actually are. But think about your own day. How much time do you spend analyzing strangers? Probably very little, because you're busy thinking about your own problems, and everyone else is doing exactly the same thing. They're worrying about themselves, not you. The embarrassing moment you keep replaying in your head, the awkward sentence you said 3 years ago, the mistake you made during that presentation, you've probably remembered it hundreds of times. Everyone else most likely forgot it within minutes. Yet people waste years trying to avoid embarrassment that exists only inside their own imagination. Here's the irony. The fear of being judged often creates a life where nothing changes, and that is far more painful than being judged because temporary embarrassment fades. Regret doesn't. One lasts for a moment, the other can last a lifetime. So the next time your mind whispers, "What will people think?" ask yourself a better question: what will happen if I keep living for other people's opinions? Because the price of approval is often your own potential. Now, let's expose the fourth lie. This one is dangerous because it changes how people see themselves. Not for a day, sometimes forever. Think back to when you first learned to ride a bicycle. Did you fall? Of course you did. Did anyone expect you to ride perfectly on the first attempt? No, because failure was expected. It was part of learning. But somewhere between childhood and adulthood, failure changed its meaning. Now people don't say, "I failed." They say, "I am a failure." Do you hear the difference? One describes an event. The other describes an identity. And your brain loves turning temporary experiences into permanent labels. Fail one interview. I'm not talented. Lose one opportunity. I'm unlucky. Make one mistake. I'm just not good enough. But here's something history keeps proving. Some of the most successful people in the world collected failure after failure before anyone knew their names. Not because they enjoyed failing, because they refused to let failure define who they were. They treated it like information. Every mistake answered one question: what doesn't work? And every answer brought them closer to what did. Imagine trying to solve a puzzle. Would you throw the entire puzzle away just because the first piece didn't fit? Of course not. So why do people throw away their dreams after one disappointment? Because their brain confuses rejection with identity? But rejection doesn't decide your future, your response does. Failure isn't the opposite of success in many cases. It's the entrance fee. Every lesson you learn, every skill you build, every improvement you make usually begins with getting something wrong. The people who win aren't the people who avoid mistakes. They're the people who stop taking mistakes personally. Think about the goals you've already achieved. The phone you wanted, the promotion, the new car, the degree, the money. Remember how badly you wanted them? Now ask yourself, how long did that happiness actually last? A week? A month? Maybe less. Then your brain did something remarkable. It moved the finish line. It whispered, "You'll be happy after the next achievement." And then the next, and the next. Success became something you kept chasing without ever catching. Here's the truth. Goals are important. They give life direction. But they were never meant to become your only source of happiness, because if your happiness always lives in the future, you'll never experience it today. The people who build extraordinary lives understand something different. They don't fall in love only with the destination. They learn to love becoming the person who can reach it. They enjoy the process, the learning, the discipline, the growth, because they know something most people don't. The destination is temporary. The person you become stays with you forever, and maybe that's what success really is. Not collecting trophies, not impressing strangers, not proving people wrong, but waking up one day and realizing you're no longer controlled by the lies that once ruled your life. So let's step back for a moment. Your brain told you you're not ready. It told you tomorrow is a better day. It convinced you everyone is watching. It made you believe. Failure defines you. And finally, it promised that happiness always lives just beyond the next achievement. 5 lies, 5 invisible prisons. But here's the incredible part. The moment you recognize a lie, it begins to lose its power. Awareness changes everything. Because now, when your brain says, wait, you'll recognize fear when it says tomorrow. You'll recognize procrastination when it says they're judging you. You'll recognize imagination when it says you failed. You'll recognize a lesson, and when it says you'll be happy later. You'll remember that life is happening now. The truth is, your mind is an incredible tool, but it's a terrible master. Your thoughts are not commands, they're suggestions. Some deserve your attention, others deserve your silence. The people who transform their lives aren't the ones with perfect minds. They're the ones who learn which voices to ignore. So tomorrow morning, when that familiar voice starts speaking again, and it will, don't ask yourself, do I believe this thought? Ask something much more powerful. Is this thought helping me become the person I want to be? Because one question has the power to change every decision you make, and eventually every decision changes your identity. Your identity changes your future, and your future is never decided by the lies your brain tells you. It's decided by the truth you choose to believe. The greatest battle you'll ever fight isn't against the world. It's against the stories inside your own mind. Win that battle, and you'll never be the same again.